what's up, everybody? It's your boy Ed Honcho, and this is Salt Sports. If you don't know what Salt Sports is, this is a Houston Homer situation. This channel is all about Houston sports. We talking about Rockets, we talking Texans, we talking Astros, we talking Dynamo. Even though I don't know that much about soccer and baseball, I promise I'm gonna put in the work so I can tighten up on that. Because like I say, this is the house. This is Houston. This is the house. This is the house of Houston. Salt Sports. Please subscribe if you like, if you're down with that, because like I said, I'm gonna give you what the national media is not gonna give you. We're gonna talk topics. We're gonna talk. It's on every day. And we talking Texans, we talking Rockets. Like I said, I'm gonna get on the Astros and I'm gonna get on the Dynamo. We talking U of H, we talking Owls, we talking, high school. We talking everything Houston based. You know what I mean? I don't like the way this looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it hang on. You know what I'm saying? Cause yeah, that was looking a little weird. But anyway, I'm your boy Ed Honcho. Today we're gonna do a little talk, man. Like I say, I'm just still, having some withdrawals from the draft and everything. Just still talking Texans. NFL is king. We want football all the time. Wish we could have football year round, but that would be definitely too dangerous and people would get too hurt. But like I say, let's talk Texans. The topic I want to talk about today with the Texans is we talked about the impact players who'd have the most significant impact, but let's talk about why these guys will have impact, because there's soon to be a changing of the old guard. There's going to be a couple of guys that we've been used to hearing the name the last few years that it's going to be starting. It's time to sunset on their careers. It's time for them to move on to the next thing, and or some of the guys are getting older. I'm not saying it's time right now to move on, but as you can tell, they're getting up in age. They're not going to be here forever. I remember when we were just good times to take. It seemed like these guys were all real young, all rookies. But man, as the years go by, these guys are starting to age, and that careers don't last very long in the NFL. It's always a new wave coming in. So I want to talk about how the Texans are a little bit older. And I think that this is our window of opportunity. So basically we're talking about the window of opportunity for the Texans to succeed in the playoffs. But, I don't want to count out. I really would like to eventually see the Texans become a perennial type team. In a sense, they've been dominating the AFC South the last few years. But, that's neither here nor there. I'm talking perennial as in going to the playoffs consistently and dominating in the playoffs, a threat every year. So I'd like to see that. Tired of losing to the fucking Patriots, that type of thing. But like I say, it's time for a changing of the guard. And some of these guys that we want to talk about are getting a little long in the tooth, are some fan favorites. But we have a couple of guys, and I didn't take a look at the whole roster, and I like I say, so I'm sure I'm forgetting some people. I'm just thinking about guys that come to mind right now. The first one that hits is Cushing. Big Brian Cushing fan since day one, love the pick. The only thing about that is, it sucks that he had those two leg injuries, which wiped out some significant time that he could have been a significant contributor. Because I used to always tell people, J.J. Watt is great, but that defense came and went with Cushing. Now it's kind of not so much. Last year you didn't see it as much because he's not on the field as much. But J.J. Watt would be great. But when Cushing was out, the defense went to shit because Cushing was the guy that orchestrated everything, and people don't realize that. For everything that J.J. does, it's amazing, it's great. The linebacker is the quarterback out there. That's the defensive quarterback. So that's the guy you got making the calls, making the plays, the checks and adjustments and things. So if he's not there, if your best quarterback for the defense isn't there, then your defense will suffer as a whole. That's naturally going to happen the same way it's going to happen with the offense. Those guys see things, So Cushing needs to get a little bit older, and that's unfortunate, man, because like I say, I've been a Cushing fan since day one. I still like what he does. He's a little bit slower. Cushing used to be one of the best backers, underrated because, Houston never got a lot of credit. But Cushing was a sideline-to-sideline backer, and he was everywhere. Now, you can say whatever you want to say about issues in the offseason with all those other things. Hey, I knew a lot of guys in college. When I was in college, I played ball in college. I played football in college. I knew a lot of guys that were on that shit and still weren't good. I knew guys in high school that were on that shit that wasn't good. Steroids, PEDs, whatever you want to call them, they do not make you a better athlete. Okay, they only enhance the abilities that you already have. Strength doesn't necessarily make you a better athlete. Actually, I think it can hinder you in a lot of ways. So all that, rumors and bullshit and diuretics and all those things that come along with Cushing, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I am a Houston homer, so fuck all that shit. That's national media BS if you want to ask me. So with that being said, another guy's getting up there is Dwayne Brown. He's an older player. He's been doing it at a high level for several years. Had a sustaining injury. I want to say it was last year that he was injured and missed a little bit. Was happy when he came back, but these guys are getting older. They've made their money. They've done their things, and they've had the experiences. And you got to look at it like, okay, once this career is over, do I want to be injured for the rest of my life, popping pain pills, doing all these things, and going through all these issues? That you see with a lot of these guys after their careers are over. So I don't blame them if these guys want to call it a retirement. And Will Fork, I think he's done. Like I said, we haven't heard anything about him. I haven't really said anything, but Rick Smith mentioned a couple of days ago that he thinks it's going to be a wrap for him. I think the same thing too. I think ending that season against the Patriots and just how everything played out. I don't know. I think it's a wrap for Vince. Thinking about a couple other guys who we have. J. Joe on the defense, he's getting up there. He's getting a little long in the tooth also. As you're starting to see him having a lot of health issues, almost every single game last year you would have a small scare with J. Joe. Oh, J. Joe goes out the game. J. Joe's out for the rest of the game. He comes back, he's injured. He's not playing. And I like J. Joe. Don't trust me. I'm not saying Jonathan Joseph is bad. I'm not saying any of those things. But he's getting older. He's had a nice career. And so that's going to be something that we're going to be looking to have to take care of. Like I say, I'm just trying to think quickly and off my head, that these guys are getting older, but these guys are all significant contributors and important pieces to this window of opportunity that the Texans have. Now, we're youthful in the receiving corps, which is good, but my also talking about this window is even though we picked up Watson, what about Hopkins? We haven't got that contract done yet. That shit should have been done last year before Rick Smith ever received a fucking extension. That contract for Hopkins should have been done. And I just, worry that they're going to try to play him with that bullshit from last year. Well, you didn't put up the numbers and because you didn't give me the fucking piece to put up the fucking numbers. And I still did solid with that garbage. So what I'm saying is you go look at those stats. You gave me the last quarterback in the league, and I still put up solid numbers for what was able to be done. So like I say, they better pay that man, or otherwise it's going to be a Texan won't be expecting to retire Hopkins as a Texan if we don't get that shit right, because I don't think he's going to make the same moves as Andre. He's a quiet killer like Andre. He talks a little trash on the field, which you like, but you could tell he has a little bit of diva in him. He's one of those fashionistas and things like that. So those guys have a little bit of diva in him. I'm not knocking that because I love what he does on the field. I love what he does, for the team. So the team needs to do something for him and make sure we retain that talent, because without that guy, that receiving core drops to a crew of flunkies. Yeah, and I'm not saying, that they're not talented, that they're not good, but Will Fuller's not going to hold his own. Braxton Miller may be able to come out and be a little something. Strong may be able to be a little something. But these guys are not on the caliber of DeAndre Hopkins. It's not even close. Not in the same stratosphere. So that's another issue we have to think about with this window is contracts, paying these guys. And like I say, they're going to want money. And DeAndre's going to want money because I feel like he's going to shine this year regardless of who is quarterback, whether it's Savage, whether it's, whether it's Savage, whether it's Watson. I think he would be eager to see Watson because of that Clemson connection. But like I say, if both of them play poorly, don't count on Clemson being the reason that DeAndre stays in Houston. Because, look, he's going to get on the free market. He's going to get paid. Every single team in the NFL will make room for DeAndre fucking Hopkins. I don't give a fuck about Antonio Brown. I don't care about what's the funny dude, the New Yorker, the dude, him, what I'm talking about. I don't even care about the dude. He's garbage. He's no, like, what I'm saying is you got to look at all these guys that people want to say are better receivers. Look who's throwing them the ball. Look who's throwing them the ball. Look who threw the ball to Hopkins over the last 3 years. And look what he's done. And then look what these guys have only done significantly, slightly better, if that at all. And then there were times that they did not do better. Like I say, so I don't care. Odell Beckham, that's his fucking name. He's a fucking diva. He's out anyway. Like I say, that dude there is shenanigans and tomfoolery. Anyway, so like I'm saying, we got to look at a lot of these pieces and realize that Even though I think we're going to have some significant cap space coming soon, so I think they'll make a play with that, with DeAndre and do what they got to do. But Clowney's getting older; he's going to hit the market eventually. I think they picked up the option on the 5th year, but you know, you only have 2 or 3 years, or 2 years really. I see that to make a real run. As the years go, you'll see how the pieces come into play, the supplementary pieces. You'll see what they do as far as the undrafteds and things like that. But right now, I see about a 2-year window for the Texans to make a real splash. Now, I see that defense sustaining over a longer period of time. But like I say, with that combination of that defense and that offense and the pieces that we're for sure about, I see a window. To make a real deep run, to make a playoff run and a shot at a bowl. We got about 2 years, is what I see. And if things don't go right, then I think there'll be a change at coach, and then we're gonna have to start all over. And the real problem, like I say, I think is still the GM. I think get rid of Rick Smith. You let Bill O'Brien have full control. Let him run it the way he wants to. Let him run it like Belichick. Okay. Then, like I say, you had no excuses. So if you can't produce, gave you everything you want. Now we get you up out of here. Because here's my thing, is that Bill O'Brien, even with, like I say, the limited resources, the shitty quarterbacks that he's produced winning seasons. We can't say that for Kubiak. It took him a while, and it really only happened when Wade came. So, what bothers me is how eager they are to. You hear these rumors and these things of Bill O'Brien being gone. Like last year, people were waiting to fire their coaches because they wanted fucking Bill O'Brien. If the Texans would have done that, they'd have been dumb. The next person that needs to go, if the Texans aren't seeing success, is fucking Rick Smith. That's the fucking common denominator. But anyway, like I say, we're talking about the window. We're not going to get into GM talk. We could talk about that all day, every day too, but we're not going to get into that. Like I say, man, I just wanted to harp on how I feel about the Texans' window of opportunity. I think we have this year. I think we have next year. Because I think the contracts and everything still remains mostly in place over these next 2 years, as far as all the key pieces. But after that, man, I really don't know. I don't know what happens. I don't know what direction it goes in, and it bothers me. As a Texans fan, as a Houston fan of everything Houston, that bothers me because I'm enjoying seeing the success we've been seeing recently. Everybody has gotten younger, and they're improving on talent. The Jags have, eventually, like I say, within that, the Jags every year, they make a splash. Not every year, but the last couple of years, they made splashes and free agents still can't do it. They kept Bortles, so we ain't worried about that. Anyway, we're not worried about the Jags. We're not worried about the fucking Titans. Fuck the Titans. Even though they're getting younger, we're not worried about them the next couple of years. But after that, when this youth becomes veteran, when these guys start having a feel, they can play the ball, they play ball and shit, and then we might start having a problem. Like I say, because what's going to happen is like those other divisions. I want to say, was it the West? Was it AFC West or AFC West? I'm trying to think. I can't remember right now. But like I say, it was a horrible division. And all those years of being bad and high draft picks and all these things for all the teams in those divisions eventually turned it into a powerhouse. So with that being said, that can happen to the Texans because we're making the playoffs every year in a bad division. And so what that means is that we're not really getting a lot of high picks. We're not getting that top tier talent. We're getting top talent, but in the back of the draft, or if we get some good picks or whatever it may be. And if we keep doing that, everybody else in our division is drafted in the top 10, in the top 15 every year. They're stacking up talent. We're not doing that. We're getting bits and pieces, and then like I say, with the next year, no couple of first round pick. We don't have no first round pick. I think, do we have a second? I don't know. So we might be out of there. So, we gave up a lot over this year for Watson. So that's what I mean. It's just, we got a small window. Let me know what you think about it. I'm going to get out of here. But like I say, this is South Sports. This is the real Ed Honcho. Give me follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Like I say, I'm on there talking shit usually whenever it's game day. So if it's a Rockets game, this playoff series, I'm always on there talking shit. Texas fan, oh man, I can't wait till the season come. I'm going to be everywhere. But, like I say, if you fuck with me, give me a follow, give me a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Show me some love if you like what I'm doing. Like I say, leave a comment below if you have any differing opinions. If you agree, how do you feel about the Texans' window of opportunity? What do you see? Do you think that we've already regressed, that we're already out of that that opportunity to make a run, or do you think that we're still in the mix and that we're developing more pieces? Do you see the window as being wider than 2 years? Let me know what you think below. I love reading all the comments. Like I say, I try to do my best to reply back. If I don't reply back, it's usually an accident if I overlooked it or something, because man, you guys are awesome. And I just say, man, I really love all the feedback, and I love hearing your opinions, and you guys actually help me think different about certain things and, analyze things in a different way. And you guys hit me to a lot of game and a lot of shit that I wasn't familiar with, that I wasn't paying attention to. So I appreciate all of that. And I thank you. And I thank everyone who subscribes, and I thank everyone who takes the time out of their day, because time is extremely valuable, extremely precious. So I truly appreciate you taking the time out just to, to hear me speak my opinions, and, to share your opinions with me. That's very valuable to me. So with that being said, man, you know how it goes. I'm going to say it one more time. Real Ed Honcho, Instagram, Twitter, like, subscribe, follow Sauce Sports. SauceSports.com is up. It should be up. And by the time you catch this, it should be up. I'm doing some migrating and some changing some things on my account right now. But SauceSports.com should be up. If it's not up when you go check it, when you hear this video, then within an hour or so it should be up. But like I say, it's already been posted. It's been up for a few days. I haven't really been promoting it because I've been working on some things, trying to get it in line. But, go there if you want to find out everything that I'm talking. It's going to be there at Sauce Sports, so SauceSports.com. And like I said, I'm working on a logo. I'm just fooling with some things. I'm going to try some different stuff. I may do a vote there and let you guys pick the logo, or maybe, do something a little bit better than that. But like I said, man, I'm out here. Subscribe, Sauce Sports, Real Ed Honcho, Twitter, Instagram. Deuce up. Man, I appreciate it. Love y'all. Houston by proxy, everybody who's showing love to the city of Houston and Houston sports. Have a great day. Have a good one. Deuce up. I'm out.